Hello everybody, and welcome back to the garden. Right now it's first week of May, and I decided I was going to start my peas now. And it's a really simple process. I just scraped back some of my compost, and I've got just down to the soil surface. And I've got my peas spaced about 2 inches across, and this is a 36-foot long trellis in a 40-foot long bed. And simply put, the only thing I have to do is put my peas out, just take a finger, just push it into the soft earth, about knuckle deep. This is so soft, it's so easy to plant. Then I just cover that up a little bit, get rid of that. And then I'm going to put back a little bit of that compost covering. And we're done. And then I'm going to give that a bit of a water, get them well soaked and well hydrated, and they'll be good to go. So, the peas I'm using, I use 2 types of peas. The first set of peas that I started when I first started gardening here are the Homesteaders, and I've had those going for the last 10 years now. And the other variety that I have now started using is the Alderman, or the tall telephone. So the Homesteader peas, they grow compact bushes. They only get to about 30 inches tall, and they can produce at least 2 full flushes of peas a season. I've gotten a third one out, but it wasn't that great, but it would be great chicken food. The other one, the tall telephone, those ones can grow up to 8 feet tall, and they need a really tall trellis to hold them up. And they just continuously crop all season long. Now I got several bags of each here. That's because I save my seed every year. So I've got some from 2019, 2021, and 2022. 2020 was a bad year for the peas, and they didn't take, so I couldn't save any seed. So I always keep several years worth of seeds backstocked, just in case I have a failure in any one year. I can just go back and use a previous year's seeds, and I always collect way more than I absolutely need. So same thing with the Alderman, but then again I only have 2020 and 2021 there, because I'm just starting them. So I'm getting a seed catalog or a seed stock for the peas of the Alderman now. So saving all these seeds, even if I don't use them all, I have chickens and they love these dried seeds. So yeah, nothing will go to waste here. But yeah, it's a great day out. I'm starting to sow peas. I'm going to sow another row along a trellis. I've got my trellis right there, but I'm going to move it to the bed that's behind me because I want to put my potatoes in that bed. And yeah, bring the other set of peas, the trellis, out to the bed behind me where it's going to get full sun, and hopefully maybe I'll get a better crop. I'm going to try that one. Last year I didn't really get a great crop, so we'll see what happens. And then the Alderman, so the Homesteaders I got on this bed, and the Alderman, I'm going to keep them separate, and I'm going to put them out in the set of beds way over there. So I've got a trellis there, and then I've got my 6.5-foot trellis there, and I'm going to do 2 beds, or basically 2 rows of Alderman peas out there. I like growing lots of peas because that's one of my staple food crops, and they're easy to grow. They put out several flushes of peas. That's good chicken food. You can freeze them, you can dry them, and of course eat them fresh. So it's just one of those things that I like to grow a lot of. And I think I'm going to have a good harvest this year. What is so tasty in the compost bin? I see you peeking. I gotta tell you, quick tickle with a rake, and there's nothing more satisfying for a gardener than a perfect seed bed. Oh, that looks good. Alright, so I'm out here preparing my beds for sowing peas, and I just wanted to go and show you that doing what I do isn't without some effort. And one of the efforts is taking this nasty chunky compost that I make. It's not good stuff, but in a way it is black gold, because once it's been sitting out here for a little while, it's actually relatively easy to prepare that and then prepare the beds for planting. So I've got this hard, horrible, chunky stuff. It's all clumped together. And then I had my oregano. It went to seed, so now I've got weeds in there. Oh no. But, had to be there, had to blow them away. But it's pretty simple to fix this. So first thing I do is I just take standard garden rake and I'm going to rip it across the top. And what that does is that just basically breaks down a lot of those clumps and separates it from a bit, and it breaks it down quite nicely. So you got the hard chunky stuff and it's already mostly broken down. So that's not too bad. And you see there's still undecomposed leaves and stuff in there. So the next tool I use to prepare the bed is called a stirrup hoe. And it basically looks like a horse's stirrup, has a good little blade on the bottom there. And what that does is it just goes under the soil surface and lifts up all those rooted plants. Because they're so small, they easily lift out of the soil. And once those roots are exposed, they will die. And it doesn't really disturb the soil too much, and it's not digging. So yeah, there's a little bit of dirt exposed there, but you can easily cover over that. And then finally, what I do is I take a nice big wide leaf rake and I just run it across the surface, give it a quick tickle, and what that does is it takes all the undecomposed carbon material, so that's leaves, some leftover cardboard, coffee filters, and that can get pulled up into a pile, and then I'll just quickly take fistfuls of it, shake it out, maybe crumple it up a little bit, and then it's going to go into a box and back into my compost pile to finish breaking down. And what you're left with is actually some pretty fine soil there. And that leaves the bed covered in a fine layer of compost. So there is a bit of work, but it's not hard. With those three tools, I can easily go through a bed in, half hour, taking my time. There's no rush, it's not hard work, and you're left with a nice bed to sow into. So yeah, I just wanted to share that to say that there's a little bit of work involved into these no-till beds. There's still a bit of work, but still, the amount of work. Now there's no weeds, no watering, well, a few weeds, no watering, and excellent growth. All right, thanks for watching.